Bibbidi bob. We are on cam. We are live. Wednesday edition of the Slate. Sorry, I'm getting ready to send off the message to our social team to see if they'll be kind enough to hit us with a retweet on the show.
After that intro, they won't, but
it's true. Okay, here we go. Reading 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Slate. Yeah, this is the golf gurus galore. Every Wednesday, every hump day, us three handsome gentlemen, plus producer Eamon and AC on the ones and twos. You know what we're going to do today, Reed? We're going all Masters. We don't care about anything else out there. All Masters, put a big old smile on your face because you flexed your muscles on our producers on the sweat the past couple of days. You verbally abused them and attacked them, and I could not respect you more for that because it worked.
Well, a couple
Bullying
things
works.
Yeah, a couple of things. A, I curl 25 pounds each arm, no big deal. I did that like back in high school. Two, exactly. Carabas, I don't care. I'm doing the Steve Buchanan take here. Carabas, great that you're on the team, but I don't care right now. Okay, I don't care right now.
Yeah.
Okay? I get baseball fine tomorrow, whatever. For the next 18 months, you got baseball, but this week we got the Masters, baby. Come on,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We're going to do a marathon show. We're going to be on until tee off next tomorrow.
Dang, dude. Ulrich, how are you doing today, man? You feeling good? You've already threatened me off camera to come to Boston and kick me in the face.
So that's generally a good sign for me. Like when I'm threatening people, I'm feeling well. So, I mean, it's a big week. I'm very excited for this tournament to start. I think it's going to be a good one, man. I think the weather is going to make the course tough and stuff. And the Tiger, I mean, everything is just set up nicely here. So yeah.
Yep. It sucked. I was watching, were you guys watching the par 3 contest, and like Mother Nature kind of comes through and takes a dump on it and all the fun ended. So that was kind of brutal. Like, is the weather expected to be crap the next couple of days, Jeff? I know you're usually on top of that.
I mean, like crap, as in it's colder. I mean, it's not going to be like a warm, nice event. And I don't think you're going to see like low scores, and the wind is definitely still looks like it's going to get up on Friday and Saturday. Like, I don't think tomorrow's going to be that big a concern, but the conditions are going to get tougher as the week goes on. So I think the course is going to play longer. And I think with the wind, you'll just see more greens missed. So, I mean, it's not going to be terrible, but I think it's going to be a factor.
Yeah, the course, I think, is at a historic length, Reed. How do you think that's going to impact scores? Like past 5 winners of this tournament. So we went 10 under. Man, Dustin Johnson, remember that? Minus 20. Tiger, minus 13. 15 under for Patrick Reed. And then there were a couple of years where it was like Sergio's 9 under, and then Denny Willett, minus 5.
Willett.
Yeah, I like that little accent off of that. Yeah.
Well,
the par 3 contest, it's usually a curse if you win it. So I guess my takeaway from that is fade Canada, because Mike Weir and Mackenzie Hughes, and I think Kevin Na all tied to win or to co champions in the par 3. So fade those 3. If you're going to play Mike Weir, don't. No, but like, I mean, so what Jeff was saying about the course being a little bit softer, I think Spieth, Marty Smith at ESPN, he interviewed Spieth after. I think Spieth didn't even get to hit one shot because they called it the par 3, but they were talking. He said, hey, look, it's probably going to be 2 different golf courses, Thursday, Friday, with the wind and the conditions coming through. And then on the weekend, it's probably going to blow it out and become hard. So that's something that you want to take account. And I would argue that Thursday, Friday, you might see lower scores, because if this course is soft, especially the greens, even though they have the sub air system that can only dry it out so much. This is not in a dome. It's not in an incubated environment. So it's going to play softer. It rained a lot on Tuesday, and it's raining, I think, currently right now. And if you take a look at who finished top 10 in that 2020 November edition, it was DJ, Cam Smith, Sanjay, JT, Rory, Fratelli, CT, Pam Brooks, and then John Rahm and Corey Connors. So there could be some correlations there. The fact of the matter is, the guys who are good.
If I had to guess right now, I think Reed's right. I think the scoring on Thursday will probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
The wind the gusts are getting pretty high at Friday afternoon. I'm a little bit scared for that wave. I don't think it's like, I mean, there's gusts throughout the day, but the afternoon gusts look the worst. But I think Reed's onto something that the weekend is going to be tougher. The highs on Saturday are like barely over 50 Fahrenheit, man.
Yeah, there we go, baby.
Like that is like, it's fucking chilly. Like it's going to play long, right? So I think Saturday you're going to see like if somebody shoots like 69, that's going to like really vault them up the scoreboard. I think that's the kind of condition we'll get on the weekend. So that'll be fun. But yeah, nothing. No, at least it's going to be, it doesn't look like crazy rain's going to stop or anything like that. It's just going to be chilly and maybe like, I don't know, a little bit of like open like conditions in certain spots.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
pristine too.
Oh, that's nice. And by the way, Cam Smith, who just won the Players, was able to survive all of that nasty ass weather in Ponte Vedra. So, okay, maybe I'll keep a little eye on him. Kevin Roth, friend of the program, Roto Grinders, says the worst of the winds comes Friday afternoon, gusts 30 miles per hour and a little more than that. But we'll see breezy conditions every afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I mean, these guys have played in windy conditions before, so I wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah, right. I agree.
I don't think it's going to be as penal as we saw at Ponte Vedra. I mean, the splits were, 3 strokes. It was awful.
Dude, 17 was playing like a par 7. It was like ridiculous.
Exactly. When you see the beautiful blonde locks of Brooks Koepka because his hat flies off and he just laughs. Look, could you think that maybe this is a year like the Danny Willett or Zach Johnson wins where the weather wasn't as nice as it has been at this time of the year in Augusta? Maybe. But again, we'll talk about a few guys that probably correlate to that who are also playing well no matter what, right? Who does stands the weather.
And we talked a little bit about it this morning on the Sweat too, where it feels like, at least in the past decade, that fluke winner, like that hasn't been the case because the winner of the past 10 years has been the past 10 editions of this tournament has been ranked inside the top 25. Someone who's far outside of that, though, someone we've talked about at nauseum over the past couple of weeks, guys, is Tiger Woods, 973 in the world. The most, isn't that so crazy? Oh God, it sounds so weird to say. Most popular bet outright, Jeff, top 5, like top 20 to miss the cut, to make the cut. Like people want to bet this dude. If you're a fan of Woods and you want some action on him, like what would you recommend? Like, what are you feeling when it comes to betting Big Cat?
I mean, honestly, it's just don't bet anything. I mean, there's too many variables involved with Tiger. He hasn't played a competitive round. We have nothing to base it off of. We're just doing it off of, he's the greatest golfer ever to play. And he's, he could do anything, but that anything also includes like shooting 80 tomorrow because he hasn't played. So my honest recommendation, I don't think there's a good way to play Tiger. I know some people are out there touting, he's a miscut. He's not even top 25 player in the field. Well, like, I guess you're right in a sense, like he has no competitive practice, but he's also like just done things in the sports that no one else has done. So I don't know how confident you can be in that take either. If you're like, gun to my head, what the best way I would probably bet him to make the cut at plus 105. I think that those odds are a little bit skewed. Like I would think if I was making the odds on Tiger, I'd probably put him at like even money. So I think the fact you're getting plus money to make the cut, again, it's a 91 person field with at least 10 people who are just like, they're not even involved in the tournament. They're just like honorary starters because they're past winners. So for him to make the cut, he doesn't have to do much. Like we're just talking about like the top 50 in ties. I think plus 105 to make the cut is where I would land in terms of a Tiger bet.
Yeah, and I believe to miss cut, he's minus 140. Reed, Jeff going there with like a lower end payout. So, I mean, should you just proceed? You should definitely proceed with caution with this guy as well, right?
Yeah, because the range of outcomes are massive. This is not, I know a lot of people are likening this to his US Open win on a broken knee. But this is different, right? He almost lost his leg and he almost lost his life. And I don't think he's thinking about those things in comparison to Augusta National this week. But I take it in from a totality, the 30,000 foot view of when that happened till now, right? Perspective has changed a little bit for Tiger, I bet. Maybe those practice rounds and the practice sessions that he went 2, 3, 4, 5 hours maybe are cut back. I'm just speculating. I have no idea.
Yeah.
more time spent with the fan. Who knows, right? Like that there's a shift in all of that. And I'm not saying that can't spur on or ignite Tiger to play well. But I would argue, yes, the plus money to make the cut is a feel good. It's a narrative based bet. And Tiger is one of the best to do it. He's got 5 green jackets. So there's no knock against that. I would argue, though, that the positive EV bet is for him to miss it, because the 16 months ago, we didn't know. We had no idea he was even going to play in the PNC. If someone told us that we just want Tiger to play in the PNC with Charlie for the next 10 years, we would all have taken that 16 months ago. Now he's in the Masters, and now he's competing against guys like Rahm, DJ. And look, we did this whole song and dance in 2019, and he showed us differently. But
if this
that
was
time is
any
different.
other major but the Masters, I would be 100% on Reed's side. I just think with the course, he knows the course so well. I think even at like 50%, Tiger can manage his way around to a made cut. I really do. He's so good at managing around Augusta. So
and around the greens, right? He practiced around the greens more than anything because of his condition. So
he knows he's going to miss greens. He knows he's going to miss fairways, but he knows how to he knows where to miss. Like he knows where to end up, where it's an easy lag, it's an easy up and down. That is like so much of it. I mean, he basically won in 2019. Just again, managing his way around the course. You saw it in the final round there. So I can't pull the trigger on a miscut. I just don't think it's really a good bet this week, but I understand the argument for people who are saying it is. I'm not
right. And that's why I think it's a stay away, because there's valid arguments on both sides, and the numbers, right? The odds don't reflect that. It's not plus 100 on both sides or minus 105 on both sides. It's heavily favored to him to miss the cut. So I would argue that like there's a lot of variables for him to miss it, but at the same time, am I going to sit here and cheer against Tiger? No way. Like I would not want to cheer against Tiger to make the cut. Not a snowball's chance in HE double hockey stick, Emerson.
Any other golfer who hasn't played in a competitive tournament like in more than a year, like the odds would be so much longer too.
Oh, it would. Look, I had the same sentiment about him at St. Andrews that Jeff has right now, right? Like St. Andrews, Tiger, after a handful of competitive rounds, like I got a lot of conviction about Tiger doing that much more. But then again, we're not going to get as juicy of lines, right? So, but yeah, you're right. If there's any other golfer, I mean, he'd be in like,
if you want a Tiger bet this week, the best Tiger bet is to bet him at St. Andrews in the Open in the futures market. Like I'm not even kidding.
No, I know that you mentioned that last week, I think towards the end of our show. And I thought that was actually really smart. Start looking at them for why we've got the PGA, you got the US Open, but St. Andrews is going to be like that. That's another kind of home away from home for him there. He loves that track.
Yeah. And it's the Open. Zach Johnson won at St. Andrews. I mean, my God, like what more do you need? I mean, that tournament's going to be wide open. So.
The smart the name of our Ryder Cup captain, Zach Johnson.
Yeah. Reed, you want to poke over, because we have a question. We have a question from Miami Misfits, good friend of the program here, solid member of the DK Sim fam, asking if you're going stars and scrubs for the Masters, which 3 are you going with? So best value plays $6,500 and below.
So we got to pick 3 $6,500.
I don't know. I guess if you just got some scrubs that you recommend. What about Sandy Lyle?
No, not Sandy Lyle. Stuart Stink. I don't know why they shaded his head the same color.
Because it's not like that. That is not
accurate. That is a not accurate depiction. We need to talk to whoever did the avatars and really white this bad boy out. But I'm going Stuart Stink at 64. So I'm not going to go 3, because if you're playing 3 guys under $6,400, I'd say you got a lot of variables to account for. Anybody can make their own lineup, but I personally wouldn't be doing that. But Stuart Sink, 7th at the Valspar, guys, where he gained 5 on approach, gained 5 putting. We know that he's he won more times than a lot of guys that we have in the top 25 last year. Stuart Sink did. And if you look at his his Masters record, 2 top 15s in the last 3 years, top 25 in the last 4. He's got a top 3, a couple of top 20s, and a top 10 since 2004. Like he's $6,400, and he just came off a really good round or a really good tournament at Valspar, 4 rounds in the 60s on good irons and good putting. So give me Stuart Stink at 6,400.
Anyone down there towards the bottom of the barrel, Jeff, kind of stands out to you if you don't have a lot of cash left, you're going to spend on some of the heavy hitters?
Yeah, I mean, as Reed mentioned, I would not recommend going 3 heavy at 65 and below. But hey, if you're planning on it, Ryan Palmer to me is the top play down there. Made 2 eagles and 16 birdies at this event last year. Like, he ate up the par fives. He was the leader at last week, by the way, after 36 holes too.
Yeah.
His putter absolutely self-destructed last weekend, but he was hitting it really well. And he's very good off the tee still at 45 years. So like, he's going to give you chances on those par fives. I actually really like the play of like using Ryan Palmer as a DFS play. After that, like Reed's probably right. Stuart Sink's probably in play, but like I've seen people talk about Mackenzie Hughes this week. That's probably the guy. If you're going under 6,500, I would target, but it's really just because of availability. He's like the only one I'd really feel good about. So yeah, I mean, Hughes, Sink, Palmer. Look, if you're going to go this route, and I had this discussion with Ben Raza yesterday on a show, use Matthew Wolff. If you're going to throw caution to the wind and you're going to roster like 2 or 3 players down here, Matthew Wolff has the best upside. We saw Matthew Wolff come into the US Open and like go off in like one of the final 2 groups last year. Like, if he actually hits the ball well this week and he can control his driver, he'll eat up the par fives too. And he's 6,500. So again, it's a high variance play because he could easily shoot 80, 77, but he could also like open with like a 65. That's Matthew Wolff. That's what he does. So if you're going to do it, I mean, I would say like for upside and you're throwing this in the Millie Maker and you want to win, go with Matthew Wolff.
I mean, we start to hear, I know it's not $6,500. I think about $400 more than that is Lee Westwood at $6,900. Someone close in that range, but you hear a lot about like course history, right? When it comes to Augusta, and this guy's had his fair share of like ups and downs among the azaleas, like over his career. And would you agree that Jeff, like few courses reward experience like Augusta National?
No, I mean, it's true. Like experience, like you said, it rewards experience, especially I think that when conditions get tougher and people start missing greens. But I don't think that you need to start weighing it like to the point where you're playing Lee Westwood over like a Gary Woodland, who's, played really well of late, or even like,
I was going to say down. Woodland's past 5 tournaments. I think he's had like 3 in the top 15 or something like that.
Yeah. And he's played Augusta before. So if Westwood had shown like a little bit more form, I think you could get on him, but yeah, targeting these veterans are, it's dicey. Like, yeah, there's probably going to be a couple of these guys that pop up like a Westwood or, going down further to be, we could probably talk about a few other guys like this who like a Justin Rose. Justin Rose has at least played well, like a little bit this year. Like he was in contention at the Farmers. I know he's missed 2 cuts coming in, but one of them was the Players, which I think we're all just kind of writing off in terms of like whatever. So there's other veterans I'd probably target than Lee Westwood, but I think like at some point you have to figure in like strokes gained, stats coming in, long-term form or short-term form, and Westwood just doesn't really measure up with any of those. So I'm fine just ignoring most of those guys this week, to be honest.
Yeah. So he's Westwood, 20 trips, 2 runner-ups, 6 top 10s, 9 top 20s since 97. Man, he's been around a while. Anyhow,
impressive. I mean,
he's also plus 9,000 to be the first round leader. It's just went down rabbit hole earlier.
Yeah, look, Lee Westwood is, you take a look at the DK scoring last year, the top 6. That doesn't necessarily mean that was the winning lineup.
Yep.
You look at a lot of those guys, 3, I believe, were below $7,300 and 2 were below 7,000. Leishman and Connors were 6,900. Rose was 72. Willie Z, Big Willie style, was 73. So you start to take a look at how these guys can perform, and it's going to be one of these players down here that does perform over expectation. So the methodology is correct. It's just a matter of, okay, now who are the ones that are going to do that? And look, the Kevins are doing well. Kevin Na just co-led, or he's a co-winner of the par 3.
Yeah,
so
it's not going to happen. He's not going to win. Not going to win.
And Kevin Kisner, look, I mean, this is Jeff's boy, and I like him as well. Christian Bezadenhout, He always shows up. If it's approach and short game, that's what you need at a course. This is your guy, right? He's performed so well. I think he's made like, I don't know, Jed, you can correct me on this more than anybody, is like he's made like 21 cuts or 24 cuts in a row. And the last missed cut he's had was a while ago.
No, he did miss one cut this year. I can't remember what
Genesis, but like that was his first.
He's not perfect.
That's his first missed cut in a long time.
Like he's actually, and just to add on to that, like he makes cuts at majors too. Like he hangs around. I mean, he hasn't really competed yet, but yeah, the weather and the way this event looks like it's going to go, it's setting up perfectly for Christian Bezuidenhout, because the tougher it gets, the more greens that people are going to miss. Short game comes in, and that's just where he excels, like better than anyone. So I hope if the winning, I mean, again, another reason like why I'm just not going to look at a guy like Westwood down there is you've got Bezuidenhout. I don't even mind Eric Van Rooyen either at 6,700. He's been striking it extremely well. So.
Sonic the Hedgehog villain, Eric Van Rooyen, with the mustache. Is
it Van Rooyen? Yeah, I can't remember.
No, I think it's Van Rooyen. I think you're right.
Is that Jim Carrey? Right.
Yeah. Okay. But like again, I know we're spending a lot of time down in this range, but I think it's valid.
We'll work our way up.
Here's my guy. A little Lucas List in your life. If you take a look at the winners of the, of the Masters, a lot of them were fantastic tee to green. You know who's number one in the last 50 rounds?
Tell me.
This guy.
Oh wow.
It's Luke List. Now, granted, I got some shares of Mr. List, and I will be angry tweeting when, not if, he misses a 3-foot putt.
My man.
Because it will happen. But if this guy, and we always talk about this on difficult putting tournaments, it mitigates the good putters and it doesn't like penalize the bad putters as much. And if this guy if you see this guy, I would not be surprised to see him near the top because of how good he's hitting the ball. Like he was, I think, leading after round or T6, not leading, T6 or T5 after round one at Valero. And you obviously see what happened in rounds 2 through 4, but he's been playing fantastic golf ball striking wise.
Bro, 8 of the last 10 winners at Augusta National ranked inside the top 10 in strokes gained, tee to green heading into Masters week. So could be onto something there. And look at this. Here's a fun fact. If you followed that trend last season, Jeff, you would have been a stroke away from having a chance to cash a 120 to 1 ticket on Willie Z. Oh. Go ahead, Jeff. Your dog's fighting outside my window.
I wasn't really going to say anything. I mean,
okay.
I don't mind.
I was just kind of teeing you up.
I kind of like it. No, I like the Luke List play. I like him for DFS. If you're going to bet him, I would bet him with like a top 10 or a top 20. But I mean, like you can obviously sprinkle on him as well for the outright. It's be pretty ridiculous, but he is playing extremely well. And I mean, again, I think a tougher tournament, he's going to hit more greens. His ball striking is going to keep him out of trouble. That's big. I mean, that's just a big thing, right? And I mean, if he could actually gain strokes putting, who knows? But 20
years was his last appearance here, which you think, God, Luke List isn't one of the older guys. He appeared as an amateur. So as an amateur,
is that when he played it? Was he an amateur?
Yeah. Wow. He's never played this as a professional. So he's got 1 year of experience. So
I knew he had made an appearance like way back when, but I didn't actually realize.
Yeah, it wasn't as a professional.
Yo, Fooligan brings up over on Twitch too, like avoiding like late Friday because that weather we were talking about. Is that like a strategy that you would consider maybe targeting more guys that are going to go off afternoon tomorrow, and then who would be morning Friday and avoid what looks like some of the worst weather Friday afternoon just wins?
I think you should allocate some of your lineups to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see, right. Just to see if it happens. And, a lot of people probably remember what happened at TPC Sawgrass, where if you rostered anyone in the incorrect way, you were DOA. So look, it's not like they don't correlate. So just because it happened at TPC Sawgrass doesn't mean it's going to happen here at Augusta National. So keep that in mind, that just because we had one bad weather draw doesn't mean that once we see weather again in a big tournament that it's going to happen again. Having said that, when you're doing stacks, a weather stack is definitely part of it, right? A talent stack, meaning all guys who hit it great off the tee, all guys who hit it, who are great around the greens and putting. You want to tack that just in case that you look at the stats from after the tournament is over, the 8 of the top 10 golfers ranked, inside the top 15 and around the green. You want to allocate and you want to be heavy on those guys. So stacking for sure, but not all of your lineups. Don't do that.
Yo, Fowler, I think you said this morning, like you weren't feeling Cam Smith. Was that true? Is that a true statement?
True statement.
Why are you not feeling this dude? He's like he's been one of the more consistent golfers really outside of like Scotty Scheffler. He's got to be like the next one, right?
Yeah. 2 wins in his last 4 starts. Yeah. Why not? Right. 50% win rate.
For sure.
The only guy better than him is Scotty Scheffler, who has a 60% win rate. And that's probably why, right? If I'm gonna attack a guy, look, he's 9,900. Scotty Scheffler is 11,000, the most expensive. So they're apples and oranges. Yeah. But I mean, the amount of sentiment that we have on Cam Smith right now, or Cameron Smith, is quite a bit. And you got to take a stand somewhere in these majors where there's soft pricing, and that's probably the guy, right? And especially because I want to play Rory at $10,000. That's probably not going to leave me a lot of leeway with Cam Smith 9,900. Look, can he win? He was runner-up in that 2020, like I mentioned, with Sun JM edition, and he's the best putter that we have on tour. So like that's a lot. But having said that, there's guys like, look, $400 less, Patrick Cantlay that no one's talking about for some reason. So I'd rather go there as opposed to Cam Smith that every single person is talking about.
Okay. Yeah, Jeff, he's got 3 top 10 finishes in his last 3 starts at Augusta National. That includes a T2, as Reed mentioned, 2020. And oh my God, he's missed an astounding 25 greens during that fall runner-up performance and still managed to contend.
Great.
Yeah, no, I mean, the dude is, around the greens, like he's like the final boss. I mean, he's that good. Couple things about Cam Smith. You're not getting any value betting Cam Smith anywhere. And you're also not like, he's not a value play in DFS because he's priced up. Like this is the highest we've ever seen him in a major, like priced around guys like Rory. I mean, he deserves it. Absolutely. But like there's no shock here. And then you add into the fact he's going to be popular. Everyone knows the course history. It just seems like an auto. Cam Smith's going to do good. Like to me, if you're talking about the chalky plays up top and you've got Justin Thomas and Cam Smith, I mean, I trust Justin Thomas far more in this spot. So yeah, I actually like fading Cam Smith in tomorrow in a matchup bet. You can get him in a matchup round 1 versus Tommy Fleetwood. I like taking Fleetwood. He's plus 145 in a matchup in 1 round versus Cam Smith. Cam Smith hasn't played a competitive round of golf since the Players. Tommy Fleetwood's played a ton. So, and he's played pretty well. Like 145 plus 145. There's my bet for tomorrow. I actually have a couple, but that's one of them.
Okay.
Cam Smith.
You see Fleetwood's kid running around in that like white little caddy jumpsuit onesie
Some of these
thing.
golfers have cute kids. You guys seen Henley's kid, man?
Oh,
yeah.
Even Kisner's kid. Kisner's kid was striping it down the middle. Look, I'm going to be a father soon. So like when I see these things, it's like, it hits a little bit different.
You cannot wait to groom your future son and into becoming this
like,
golfing beast.
4-foot putts. You're never going to miss a 4-foot putt. You hear me? Never. Or you're going to take a lap, run a lap.
A golf guru, Dad. Wow. Look at us, guys. Is there a certain stat, Reed, with some of these guys that you need to pay attention to now with like the length of the course, like strokes gained approach, any of that kind of stuff, strokes gained like off the tee? Like, do you with the length now, like, do you necessarily have to be like a bomber here?
No, I don't think you have to. I mean, look at like Patrick Reed wasn't. And look, yes, they lengthen the course. And what they also say too is that the grain grows against the green or away from the green. So that makes it even harder. And if you got moisture, you're going to have less roll up, right? So you have all those things combined. You think, oh, you got to be long off the tee. Look, Bryson DeChambeau was the favorite last year and he was number 1 off the tee. And look what he did. He didn't do well. Look, I think he was battling something. I remember it wasn't vertigo, but it was something similar where he was just dizzy. I don't know if you guys remember that. But like, it doesn't really factor in what DJ said on, I think I mentioned this this morning, maybe not. is that he said you got to take advantage of the par fives. They're some of the easiest on tour, and the par threes and fours are some of the hardest. So when you take that into consideration, the par fives, yes, you need distance. You can reach it in two, but it's course management that's not quantifiable. It's experience of when to press on the gas and when to press on the brake. Par fives, you got to score. And, there's guys like Tyrrell Hatton of the last 24 rounds who's second in par five scoring. So that's the one stat that if there isn't outside of the major tee to green approach putting around the green, then it's going to be par five scoring for me.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm looking at some of these favorites here, and it really does look like Justin Thomas could be the best bet if you were looking at some of the favorites, like fifth best approach game on the PGA Tour this season. And he's also been a top five performer, off the tee.
I mean, Justin Thomas is fantastic. He's played great. He's gained strokes on approach in 12 straight starts. He was smashing the ball at the Valspar. The around the green game looks good. He's got experience at Augusta. He hasn't necessarily unlocked his full potential at Augusta, but if he starts to sink a few putts and the around the green game is sharp, I mean, he could murder these par fives. I mean, Hideki went 11 under. I mean, Justin Thomas could easily replicate that easily. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, you're asking me between Cam Smith and Justin Thomas, who the better chalk play is. It's Justin Thomas. It's not even close in my mind. I don't mind if you can start it, even if he's going to be popular, even if everyone's going to play him. As far as betting goes, at plus 1,200, I mean, you kind of missed the plus 1,400. I don't know if he was ever at plus 1,600, but that's kind of gone. I'd still probably bet him between Scheffler, Rahm, and JT, those guys, just if you're looking to get some Wednesday bets in. I'd probably still lean towards JT. He seems primed. He seems ready. It's just, is he going to be on the right side of the draw? Are the putts going to drop early? That's all. I mean, I think if they do, he's definitely going to be in contention. And I certainly do respect his chances. And like I said, I would not be, again, Rita's tweeted this out. The Millie Maker lineup last year had two guys over 25% owned. You don't have to fade every single chalky play just because everyone's talking about him. I think Justin Thomas is the epitome of he's a little bit underpriced. He's playing well. And, you can start with him and still make, fairly easy DFS lineups.
I mean, a poor putter could totally screw your lineup over here, Reed, because Augusta has the highest 3-putt rate of any PGA Tour course. So my guess is you got to keep a close eye on some of the better putters, say inside 10 feet, maybe guys with lowest 3-putt rate.
Is there someone that you were mentioning?
No. I was not. I was literally just trying to tee up if maybe some of the better putters, even if someone's a little underpriced, longer odds, but if you're stronger in the putting department.
Yeah. So to that question, I want to talk about JT after that. Okay. You want to get the guys who can pop with their putter, right? Those are the guys who win. And especially when you talk about this type of course, you want the ball strikers that can get the 4 strokes gain putting, like a Colin Morikawa, like a JT, and their pop weeks are better than most, right? When they can get it going because they're so good ball striking. But here, how's this for, and I wish I said this on a previous show too, is Jeff mentioned JT has yet to unlock something. Well, the skeleton key is bones. You see what I did there? Skeleton key, bones, unlock. It was fantastic. I thought about that when Jeff mentioned
it. It's great. It's awesome, man.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, look at what Bones Mackay, the same thing that Ted Scott's doing with Scotty Scheffler. I think that's a thing that's going to unlock JT. JT's mentioned that he hasn't been aggressive. He's not wanting to make mistakes at Augusta. And that's got him in a bad place where he just hasn't had everything at this course in this tournament. Well, you got a guy in the bag who's been around the block, not just on the PGA Tour, but who's had a winner at this course 3 times. So you have that on your bag now. And look, if Tiger doesn't make the cut, who do you think he's going to give all of his information to? Right? Even if he does make the cut, who do you think he's going to give all of his information to if Tiger is not in contention? It's JT. So now you got Tiger,
I haven't even thought of that.
And Bones. I'm worried that all of my bets, everything that I have that's not JT is all going to be paper money. It's all going to be just paper mache at the end of the day because JT might run away with this thing. And that scares me the most, that he's got Bones on the bag.
I almost I almost flipped out there. Not flipped out. I almost freaked out because I saw producer Eamon was like, we have 2 minutes left. And it's like, usually we have to get off a little early because we have Sims coming up, but we don't tonight. We can go a little longer. First major of the year, bro. 2 fat Millie makers. Reed and I just dished out like nearly 70 tickets to Millie makers combined. Like this is great. This is gold, bro.
That's right. We did. 70.
Amazing.
Like, what did we dish out, Emerson?
Dude,
You're right.
The most amazing thing that I have seen today, by the way, just like a little side note here, Jeff. I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see Pat Mayo's love for Kaufman?
No, I didn't.
Okay, don't listen to it here on the show because it's not safe for work. It's actually it's the furthest thing safe from work. But we'll have to send it to you after the show. I know Reed saw it because
I've done many of live viewer Q&As with Pat, and he gets triggered at about minute 10 of those, and I'll just leave it at that. Kaufman makes an appearance.
I mean, I can just already picture what Kaufman asked him. Like, what? Just the most ridiculous. I already know how it went. I'm going to watch it because I'm happy to see that. But I already know what the question was.
Oh God! It had to do with Burns, didn't it?
Sure.
No, it didn't.
No.
Did I miss it? Burns was in the clip, but it had nothing to do with Sam Burns.
Oh,
did
okay.
Kaufman, did Pat give him an answer and then did Kaufman respond?
No,
it was just like, okay.
It was just just.
I already know
those little like teaser things on Twitter, so you don't like.
Okay.
It's funny.
Oh, it is really good. Okay, Reed.
Yes.
You've mentioned a couple of people like nobody is talking about. I haven't heard much from anyone about Brooks Koepka. Oh, well, first off, your boy is going to crumble underneath the massive galleries that he's going to be playing in the next 2 days when he's with Tiger Woods. I'm sorry, dude.
That's Neiman. He's played with Woods like his entire career.
It doesn't matter. And I know, the sausage man lives down there in the neck of the woods, makes a bunch of South African sausage for like Tiger.
When you win the Open at St. Andrews by 5 strokes.
I'm sorry. That doesn't happen. You do realize that we're in America. You can't win over here. He can't win over here. You're a Brooks Koepka believer this week, Reed.
I am because he had the infamous look. There's only half of the guys that can win in this field in a major, like 20 or 30 guys, and he thinks he's the best, right? No one's more confident than like Tiger is probably the only one close to the amount of confidence that they have, JT included, of when they say, I think I'm going to win or I'm going to win this, like it's true. And Brooks Koepka, I mean, look at his major record. It is amazing. And he's got amazing finishes here. He's finally healthy. He was third at the Waste Management, could have easily won that. He played decent on the Florida swing. And look, he's got a crooked number in front of him, or he did at some point, right, in the week at plus 2,000. Now he's at plus 1,800. Absolutely, I'm in on Brooks. I think it'd be asinine to not heavily consider Brooks at every single major because what this guy does and his history in it, and he's finally healthy. He was doing all of that stuff. Justin Ray came out with a tweet where he's like 96 under par since 2016. The next closest guy in those majors is DJ at like 26 under. So, and that was unhealthy. Now the guy's healthy. So yeah, of course I like Brooks.
There may not be another guy out there who can just flip the switch when he decides I want to compete and like win the hell out of this tournament. Was he T3 Phoenix, T6 the Honda, T12 in Tampa, reached the quarterfinals of the match play? Like, I don't know, he's cooking right now. And Jeff, like you said this morning, your pick to win was Rory. You think he's going to complete that career Grand Slam?
I'm very confident Rory this week. I mean, it's weird. I probably, it feels like you shouldn't be. I get it, but I like the lead up ever since that Ryder Cup happened, man. Like something has just seemed to flip in Rory's focus. And you saw him come in with the win at the CJ Cup, and like he just missed another win over in Europe. And I get it. Like the last couple, like the players, like whatever. Again, it's T33 and it was the players. Like Justin Thomas finished T33 at that event too. If Rory had just played the players and went to the match play and done what Justin Thomas did, which is losing his group, what is Rory at? Everyone's probably on Rory. Rory's probably like the chalk this week or something. But because of 2 stinking rounds at the Valero, 2.
Yeah.
Like people are going to play Cam Smith over him. Like I just I don't see it. I think the missed cut is actually good for Rory. I really do. I think it takes pressure off. And I think Tiger being in the event is actually good for Rory. There's less questions about, are you going to win the green jacket this week, Rory? You know, like I like the setup, man. I really do. And he's got experience playing this course. He knows that he's been in contention before. Things haven't fallen his way. I think you're getting a fine number of plus 2,000. I think that if Rory, again, you've just got to think about it. Just pretend those 2 rounds didn't happen. What would Rory be at? He'd probably be at plus 1,600. I think you're getting a good number.
Yeah.
I love the fact he's not going to be heavy chalk at all. And I think this really does set up. I think he's primed to win this event. It's like the prime years for him. And his short game is better than people think. He's actually putted really well at certain points this year. If that confidence flows through round 1, man, like it's going to happen. I just feel very good about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm ready to be disappointed on Thursday afternoon, but if it happens, if it happens, it happens. We're all set to be disappointed about someone. For me, it's big time. It's Rory.
Okay, so Thursday, those are the first rounds where he's struggled like over the past couple of years. Had that like brutal opening round, like 76 last year. I know. And then you know what's interesting, Jeff, is I went back and looked at it. He finished T5 in 2020 despite opening with the 75 too. So
he backdoored that T5 too, but still, like that's what he does.
And
right,
his driver has been freaking insane. Like he had that one drive that was almost 400 yards, like piped down the middle. I can't remember if it was this weekend or it was the weekend before, but it's a weapon for him right now.
It's a weapon for him his entire career. I mean, like that's just what Rory does. He smashes the ball down the middle. You look at career par 5 scoring, Rory's at top, right? And, you know, we talk about, and people are like, well, all his top 10s are backdoor top 10s here. That's fine, but it still shows the potential. The potential on this course for Rory is that, you know, one year he's going to come here, he's going to shoot like 500 or 600 in the first round, and it's not going to look back. There's going to be no looking back in the rear view mirror. And I don't know. I almost wish the conditions were a little bit softer for him, but I also don't really care that much. I mean, everyone's playing the same course. It could be soft on Thursday, and if he does get off to a good start, I think you're going to see him pull through this time. But it really does. You did mention it, like it's come down to the start. If he starts poorly again, he's going to put himself behind the 8 ball, and then we'll see. But I'm big on some of the Euro chances this week, because I think that the Euros have typically just done better here when the scoring's down a bit and they don't have to, you know, keep up with the insane pace of some of the top American players. And guys like, you know, Hatton, even Fleetwood, I think they're pretty live this week. So Rory fits in that mold too.
I mean, he seemed pretty loose. Like he was joking around a little bit, like on ESPN, where I think he birdied like his first hole in the part 3 contest. And then the contest was called and he was like, yeah, like it's the first time ever that I finished part 3 contest, like under par. So, I mean, again, I think like the less you think about it, sometimes the less you think about things, and you know, it's the subtle art of not giving.
I'm trying to make this obviously fit for myself in some sort of way, but I really do think the missed cut last week has taken some pressure off. Like if Matt, think about the other scenario where he's in contention last week. Everyone's talking about him. Brandel Chambly is on the Golf Channel saying, "I'm picking Rory McIlroy to make back because he did this and this."
Dark horse,
Nobody's
Rory
talking
McIlroy
about Rory this week, except me. Nobody watches me, so.
No,
hey, I like Rory. I think I included him in my article.
And Reed. Okay, Reed.
Yeah, well, he's got good. Write 20 articles, so he's probably in one of them.
I know he's look, I think Jeff's onto something with the Euro stuff too. And if you take a look at Rory and some of these other guys, Shane Lowry, I think is someone that we were talking about for the show. That talk about a pressure pack situation. He won the Open Championship in his backyard, right? Like there's no bigger pressure situation of winning that tournament where he was at that time for Shane Lowry. So you take a look at that. Rory's got a bunch of majors. So if he's in contention, you worry about him less because of that. Now, the wedges, that's been his Achilles heel for all of his career. If he can get those dialed in, and if he it doesn't it also, like, I know we're playing to the narratives quite a bit and you're not supposed to do that as much, but wouldn't it be fitting that everyone's talking about Scotty Scheffler, 3 in the last 5, number 1, John Rahm, you lost number 1, but you're still really good. JT, you got Bones and Tiger in your back pocket. Don't you think Rory's going to come in here and just say, screw every one of you guys, take all of the, you know, the media garbage, and I'm going to win this thing? like in front of all of you guys. I definitely can see that happening. And I would not be surprised because this has been his thing for 14 years. 14 years Rory has played at Augusta National.
Man.
So he's got
to be pudgy.
He's got a past here with this foe that is Augusta National, and it's time to slay the dragon. And he's come in with better form and he hasn't done well, and he's come in with worse form and he's done well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's been working with Brad Faxon, I see, on his putting a little bit, but
I think
if there's any, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that with the top players, like he's got the biggest range of outcomes for sure. I mean, the miscut and stuff like that, it could carry over too. Right. But, the upside, again, talking about it from a DFS perspective, you're going to just get some nice leverage off the other plays in that range. A lot of people, when we're talking about making lineups, I think they're either going to fall on Justin Thomas. Maybe they'll pair him with like one of Rory, Hovland, and Morikawa, but a lot of other people are just going to bypass those three and go down to like Cam Smith or Cantlay or something. So that, I mean, again, Hovland, if you're talking about that range, Morikawa, Hovland, Rory, like who do you like best? I mean, I like Hovland and Morikawa too, but I think of the three, like if I had to pick one to win, again, it's going to be Rory this week. So from DFS, he makes sense too.
And if there's anyone in form enough right now, guys, to pull off the impossible with his short game.
Oh,
no, my sweet chinchilla. It's 70-1 long shot, Billy Horschel. Oh, Billy Ho. I don't care that he hasn't had the best track record here at the Masters. He's never been playing this great of golf his entire life. He's 13 in the world, man. Oh, here we go. What do you know? Entering this year's Masters, 6th in the field in strokes gained putting, Reed. 5th in the field in strokes gained short game over his last 24 rounds. Jeff, I'm telling you, Jeff, if you want to send your kids to Harvard, you're going to bet Billy Ho outright plus 7,000. You're welcome. That's it.
Is that the only reason why I like Billy Ho is because you saw him hugging Tiger Woods last week?
So no, I said it. I did say it on the show last week. I said when we talk some early Masters bets, guys, and I sold myself on it. I said I'm gonna lean into Billy Ho a little bit. And yes, then I saw Tiger on Sunday on the range transfer his power to Billy Ho when they man hugged.
Look, Bermuda Billy is fine. Like whatever.
Thank you. At least you don't take a dump on me like Ulrich does in our group chat.
Well, hold on. Because I'm warming up. I just sat down. It takes me a minute. Like he's fine, but not this week. I mean, as an outright bet, like DFS, you want to play him, fine.
Yeah.
Right. Because look, why not? Because he's in the field, like you mentioned, short game is fantastic. But I've been down this road quite a bit where you want to back a guy who's got a solid short game. What if, for whatever reason, that's not there? Then he is DOA.
Yeah, you know what? I have confidence in him this week. This is good for the week.
So,
look,
we got Paul Casey, Bubba Watson, Joaquin Neiman, Patrick Reed, Sergio Garcia, Max Homa. Like, I would much rather I'd much rather put money on every single one of those guys before Billy Horschel.
He hasn't broken 70. Billy Horschel hasn't broken 70 at this event since.
Dude, he hasn't finished.
I don't think he's
17.
ever broken. Okay, I don't think he's ever broken 70 at this event.
Okay,
he's played here 7 years and he's never broken 70.
Yes, he's never finished 17th. I get that, man.
No,
but again, he also
broken 70 on the.
I understand. I know. I'm saying simply hasn't finished better than 17. That's okay. That's even okay because 17, he's never entered. He's never entered the Masters. He's never entered the Masters playing this good of golf. All right. No, he hasn't.
He won the Tour Championship one year. I think he was playing pretty
entering
good.
The Masters. The Tour Championship is the previous season, bro.
He won the match play.
Like 3 months.
He won the match play last year.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I know he did.
So he won an event right before, if I'm not mistaken, this event, and he still did.
Look, I think Billy Ho will grind you out a made cut this week. But
yeah, look,
he hit on it. There's guys who actually like.
Guys,
like 30. I got 36 plays.
Casey, Neiman, even Tyrrell Hatton finished T18 last year and shot 68 in the final round. No, look, I don't know.
All right.
I won't
Okay,
bug you about Billy
thank
O
you.
anymore. He's your guy.
Hold
I get
on.
it.
No,
He's from Florida.
forget it. All
He's a
right.
Florida man.
What about, I know what, that's the thing. He's always talked about how bad he wants to win, like in his home state. And what's the next best thing? You go to Georgia, just like, right there.
He also talked to Kaufman, I think, at some point last year, and they became best buds. So
Are you dead serious? Hey, oh God. Okay. All
he
right.
He came on an interview with us, and Kaufman.
He did. He did. That's true.
So,
that's disgusting.
Get the Kaufman curse.
I actually, I hate that because I'm not kidding you. Originally, remember when I texted you guys yesterday, couple dudes, and I threw in there Sam Burns, and then Reed, I mistook like what was happening with Mayo and with Kaufman earlier, and I thought Kaufman was talking about Burns, and I was like, I don't want anything to do with Burns anymore. I really don't. So now, I mean, I'm still going to back. No. I'm going to back. I'm still going to back Billy Ho, but I'm a little uncomfortable.
That's all right. Go to Burns.
Wait.
We'll allow you to. This will be the last thing we talk on this. Last thing we say in this
Jeff,
show.
you got to go in 2 minutes. Do you have it? All right. I didn't know you had to go. What are you talking about? I thought we were going to do this till like 7 tonight.
Okay. Well, this used to be obviously.
All right. This is ridiculous. Jeff, do you have any closing thoughts then? Like, so you already said your guy to win is McElroy. Any other quick bets?
So, Tyrrell Hatton plus 55 and with the top 5 or in each way, wherever you're getting your odds. I do like him even at plus 55 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. I think that's fine. I think if you're taking a flyer at guys above that plus 9,000, Siwoo Kim, I'm going to have a little piece. Still deciding between Berger and Lowry, but I like both those dudes too for outright bets. And then, again, we talked about Tiger, to make the cut, but I do like Tommy Fleetwood plus 145 tomorrow in the matchups. And I also like Max Homa over Taylor Gooch in the matchups tomorrow as well. I think Max Homa, I think it's minus 120, minus 125. You can pair Fleetwood and Homa for a nice little one ball or 2 ball, whatever you call it, matchup parlay for round 1. So those are going to be my, I'll throw those out as kind of final bets I'm looking at.
Reed T.
Yeah, for outrights right now, I'll probably finalize everything tonight. Rory, I think it is a fine bet. Morikawa, if you got him when his number was closer to 22, I think that's completely fine. I'll back both of those guys, Jeff, Shane and Daniel Berger. I don't think you have to decide between the two. But if you wanted to decide between the two, I'd probably lean Shane Lowry. I think those are both fine plays. And Luke List, like I said, as a sprinkle, as a long shot, he's one of my favorites. But definitely top 10, back that up with some insurance. He could easily miss the cut, but he's someone that's playing extremely well. And this is just going to be fun. And we haven't had a major since July of last year, right? And it's fitting that this is the first. Spring is here for us who live in cold weather. Golf season's coming around the corner. So I'm wearing green from head to toe, socks, sweatpants and shirt is green. So I'm just pumped.
All right, guys. I'm also very excited. Just to spend some time with you. Sorry to keep you here so late, Jeff. I thought we were having like fun tonight and stuff and kind of a buzzkill. You never slack and you slack something. You say, I got to go in 2 minutes. All right.
Just Wizard of Oz, take us behind the curtain, see how the sausage is made, just giving away everybody's secrets.
I love you guys, man. That was fun. I can't wait for the next 4 days. This is seriously one of my favorite times of the year. I prefer this over Christmas and Thanksgiving. All right, everybody. That's a Wednesday edition of the Slate. Thanks, Aben. Thanks, AC. Everyone for sacrificing yourselves for hanging out 15 minutes later. Appreciate it. Goodbye. Wow. Unbelievable.